So my plan for the next level cap is to take Ash and test how the slash is gonna go. So I'm gonna be using my something close to the first ever level cap I've ever done, which is Ash taking a Zon Nikana. I took the Epitaph if I'm not wrong at the time. I'm gonna take the Tysis now because it's stronger. It's a stronger single target primer. And yeah, this is the loadout. Now, going on a level cap, you should consider some stuff. Starting with the frame. What are you gonna take? What do you feel like you wanna take? You know, that is the first question. You gotta think if that's possible first, because probably it is possible, but the amount of work, it's just like weapons. There isn't a better weapon in this game. It's just levels of effort you need to put into some specific weapon to make it work. And for Warframes on a level cap, it's going to be the same thing. There isn't really a bad Warframe. They're just Warframes that are way freaking easier to take to level cap because they have some kind of invisibility, some kind of invulnerability, or something like that. In the case of, you know, Ash, which is what I'm going to take here, I can go invisible, and so Kappa is going to be the mission for me because I enjoy it. I don't need to worry as much about the Noxus and getting one tapped by them because they're not gonna see me the most amount of time. The Warframe is gonna be Ash.
Nice.
Holy shit, that scared me. Someone just subscribed. I'm gonna take Ash. It's gonna be a build for melee. I'm gonna use the Nikana, so for my aura, it's gonna be empowered blades. It's gonna make my heavy attack stronger. The way you usually work with melee weapons, you go for the heavy attack. You can go for the light one, but that is optional. You gotta be really conscious that you're gonna be able to kill stuff with that. So for my Nikana, it's gonna be the heavy attack. I'm gonna use empowered blades to further amplify the damage of that attack. And other than that is something built towards, you know, utility, rolling guard to help me stay alive. Rising Storm is good to keep the combo, but I'm gonna be using Crescendo, so I could trade this for something else. I could use Smoke Shadow, but since I'm going melee, I have to get up close to deal damage. I might just get hit by the Nullifier Bubble, lose my invisibility, and then Smoke Shadow is gonna serve for nothing. That is something to think. Executing a target. Extend smoke screen duration by 5 seconds. So I think I'm gonna trade for this one. Sounds like a good one. So do we still have the finisher bonus? Yeah. It's just not saying here. Velocity by 30%. Oh, Parkour velocity. That is actually big. I haven't read this one after they changed Ash quite recently. It's gonna be this. We have some strength to help with roar. Roar increases dot damage. It works kind of like a bane, and it's just amazing. I chose Ash to do this because I'm gonna be using Slash in my Nikana. I want to see if Slash is still viable. So Ash might just be one of the best frames for this because he deals 25% increased damage on the bleeds. Also, they last 50% longer. So, when I talked about you needed to do the 600 million damage across a 20-second time, if I want to kill my demo with Ash and Slash, I'm gonna need around, I'm gonna count for, I'm just taking an estimate here. You can do the math, it's gonna be more accurate, but I'm just taking a guess here. So I'm gonna need around maybe 7 million damage per tick. That being on the Demolisher. So that's gonna be a 70 million per tick. I'm considering it's gonna be what, 9 seconds of dot? 9 to 10 seconds, the duration. It's gonna be something like that. That should be enough for me to get a kill on a Demolisher all the way up to level cap. That considering it's primed, I have my stacks and stuff, and yeah, I'm able to do that damage per second. That's gonna be enough. And I'm so I said about 20 seconds. Why am I considering, the dot duration? Because in order to be very optimized, I want to prime my target, use my heavy attack once or twice, and just go to the next one. Keep doing my stuff. You don't want to spend too much time killing one Demolisher. That's gonna slow you down. It's kind of how I do stuff and why I get my 2 hours consistent. Okay. Other than that, we have duration, narrow-minded, energy maximum, more duration, strength, natural talent for utility. This one to keep me alive. Prime sure-footed is good. I don't feel like there are as many situations right now that need prime sure-footed, but we still have some Eximus that are gonna punch the ground. Release that heat wave is gonna take you down. So it's good to have, and some other effects that happen. That's also good. So, Energize, good for maintaining energy, and Crepuscular, it's gonna help me with the critical damage. Now you might say, why you're not taking my Smoke Shadow, but I am taking Crepuscular. Crepuscular, after you break out of invisibility, is gonna last for like a split second, where you're usually able to use that bonus, which you're not gonna be able to use with Rise and Storm. That's what I mean with Smoke Shadow. That's how it goes. So yeah, that's my choice for the mods, arcanes, and stuff. For the shards, I've already had these installed. It's 2 for critical damage, 2 for ability duration, 1 for energy maximum, because that energy maximum is gonna give me the 500, which is just enough to double the effects of the Violet Tau Forged. So yeah, that's 150% critical damage from these shards, which is really good. Could we do it without them? Probably. Another thing that could be done to further increase my melee damage would be to change some of these mods for the Gladiator set, which would give me more critical chance, as my combo multiplier is all the way up there, which is gonna be. So yeah, this is what I'm taking. This is a whole extra other power that I didn't had when I first done this. Comparing. There's also a lot more power on the Nikana than before. But I'm not taking the Gladiator set here, which I think I was using back in the day. I haven't looked at it. For the rest of the loadout, we have 3 slots. We have our Focus 3. We have our Parazon. The Shadow Clones. These doesn't matter as much to me on this one. So, I wanted to do something for my Ash. I want to compare with the old days, how it was. The Nikana is my weapon, my main weapon to kill Demolishers. So you usually have our main weapon to kill demos. You have a primer weapon to set up your condition overload, which you're most of the times you're going to be using. And you have a free weapon that you can take for maybe for utility. You might want to take a weapon for heavy damage to help you clear the enemies around, which is usually... I'm still sick. Usually pretty hard to just use your main weapon to kill everything. Because to deal heavy damage, you kind of need the condition overload built. So you're not going to be priming every enemy and using your main weapon on every enemy. Which it really depends, but usually, generally not. So, the miter here is going to be my weapon to go to kill a bunch of enemies. It's just way easy to just use this. You can use a Latron and Karn. There are many possibilities that you can use. I just really enjoy the miter. It's one of my favorite weapons in the game, and I like to use it. If I wasn't running this, my utility weapon would be the melee, would be a Praetos because of the movement speed, the parkour velocity, the parkour speed that it gives you, which is amazing to traverse on the mission with that. Parkour velocity is awesome. After you, I have said this many times, after you start using it, is like crack. You don't want to play it anymore without it. So, for my miter, which is going to be the utility, it's this. These are perks. This is the build. Got a Riven. That's how it goes. I'm playing Ashe. Alright. This is important for Ashe. Just like it is important to not have companions flying around, it is important to not make noise. You want an example of why? If you've watched Pablo showing Oraxia's abilities while he was invisible with her, I think he was demonstrating the ultimate ability, he spawned the little spiders. The spiders got shot, not him. He was invisible. When an enemy shoots something close to you, if it deals AoE, or if it happened to not hit the initial target, you might be on the line to get to take damage, and that is bad. So, if you make noise, some enemies are just gonna straight up shoot towards where the noise is coming from, or they will simply be aiming at that place. And it's usually the guys with a shotgun, with a Sobek. Troopers, I think. As soon as you get out of the invisibility, they're gonna one-tap your face. Not if you have shield gating, but if you don't, you're one-tapped and you're dead. So that's it. Something good to use. For the Coda Tysis, it's this. Suppress also. Encumber for more status effects. Here, this Riven is good, but it's not amazing because the disposition is low. I could replace this with something else. Let me see. I don't see anything to, you know, too great. Could go with more multi-shot, more what? More status chance, maybe. My status is 159. Yeah, I could go with just sure shot. 185. That would be really good. But yeah, considering that I have status chance and multi-shot, I'm gonna keep this one. I don't really need the damage to Grenier. Damage to Grenier is important on Hidden Herod builds, not here. This one I'm gonna use Slash. We don't really care about Bane on a primer. We would care for a Hidden Herod build, not this one. So it is this. We got some elements, we got status chance, we got some status duration. The Riven utility. Amalgam for utility. That dodge speed, it's your roll. That is amazing. Really recommend. So we got our corrosive base. We got magnetic base, so we can drop that magnetic mod. We got a radiation from this. We got, you know, slash impact, heat from heat and viral from the build. That's kind of it. And we're gonna get some extra stats from our secondary encumber, which are gonna further increase our Nikana condition overload damage. So this weapon is it's used to prime the enemy, apply many status effects to increase the damage we're going to be dealing with our main weapon, which is the Nikana. That's what a primer is, basically. Let me see. Okay, now the Nikana. I'm using Exodia Hunt. I don't know which other Zaw Arcane I could use. I couldn't... just couldn't think of anything better, really. And I think it also opens enemies up for finisher, though, so this might be a good thing. Crescendo, good. And this is the build. I have attack speed, heavy attack efficiency, critical chance, minus impact. This is a pretty okay Riven. It's not something too OP. It helps. It definitely helps. Nikanas, they have guaranteed slash procs on a heavy attack, so that is already a great thing. My status chance is probably gonna get up to... might just be like 50 something, maybe close to 60% to get an additional proc. So I'm gonna have one guaranteed for my heavy attack because it's on the stance. And it, you know, it's part of the combo stuff. The other one is gonna be a chance to apply because of my status chance with Weeping Wounds. And so that has a great chance to be a slash proc. It's kind of how it goes. And this Riven is actually helping a little bit because of the minus impact. It's pulling the status chance by type to the slash because it reduced the amount of impact the weapon has. That's how it goes. So, build for building the combo. Blood Rush, Weeping Wounds, they use the combo multiplier. That's how it goes. Heavy attack. The damage of the heavy attack is based upon your combo multiplier. So we want that at 12 times at all time. And he's going to be benefiting from, you know, everything that's on the build. Blood Rush, Weeping Wounds, Empowered Blades, Ashes passive. And then our Condition Overload is going to be greatly benefiting from our priming from the Tysis. Yeah. Uniro is the focus tree I like to run. I'm used to just taking this, but actually for this, since I'm gonna build Crescendo, I mean I have Fatal Teleport, but if you're not gonna use, you know, Fatal Teleport, you could use Vazarin because of the Void Snare. It's gonna group enemies up. You can just get up close, use the finisher, the melee finisher, and you might just stack this pretty easy. I think I'm not gonna take it this time. I just don't feel like I need it. Now, Uniro, it's pretty useful to revive yourself because you're gonna be armor stripping enemies and shield stripping. You know, first ability shield strips and stuff. Second ability armor strips. So it's pretty good to revive yourself. It's my favorite tree for the level caps because of that. You armor strip, deal more damage because of the Uniro Wisp, and you have a better chance usually than the other trees to revive yourself. And I even have a specific amp build for that. That's on the channel. It's been there for a long time now if you want to take a look. Probably on the video description too. This is what I have on my Ash. This deals pretty good damage to normal enemies. For the Demolishers is just not enough. I was even trying some stuff, but eh, eh, it's pretty meh. I don't know. I just haven't put enough effort into this thing. That's what I think. And for this has been working just fine. Okay, so I'm gonna take this. Parazon, holy. How to breed, blood for energy is good. Out of sight. It might just help you. That is something. Other than this one, I think the only... Yeah, this one might be good too. If you're don't want to use out of breach, you know, this one should be base. Sentinel. This is important. I'm gonna be taking the... Let me think. Who should I take? I could take a Sentinel. I could use a companion. Still not sure what I want to take, but I'm going with, to be safe, going with Warframe. Because he's gonna help me stay alive because of a negate. Negate is just great. See if I have a build with... This one has more shields. This build actually helps with reinforced bond. And that is just great. One thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take duplex bond off because we don't want extra stuff just flying around. And then, you know what? I'm gonna put another forma here. I'm going with a Omniforma on this slot. Have Mystic Bond, which is gonna help me with the energy too. Thinking about con with effects and stuff. One great can be a great addition, or actually a double-edged sword, is Mediray. Because the health drain effect might just kill you because of Mediray. It drains like chunks of health every time. I think at the very high levels it drains like 25 per second. But if you have below 25, it's not gonna trigger. If you have exactly 25, you're gonna get killed. So there is a chance that your pet healing might just kill you. It is a possibility. It happened to me before. So our Warframe here is gonna be helping us on tank status effects, negating status effects. Then I should be using the one that reduces killing enemies, again, sentimental, reduce... No, it's I'm missing the important one. Cooldown, manifold bond. This is the one. I'm gonna trade Mystic Bond for this one. Yeah. Now we're set, and I might even be able to trade regen for the primed one. Yep. Perfect. For the weapon. If you need CC, if you wanna help from your Sentinel to stay alive, and you're not going invisible, one, you're gonna use duplex bond. Two, you're gonna be using the Arthuss, which can use cold, magnetic, and heat at the same time. This is my build for CC with this weapon. If you want to deal damage, you're going with the Verglass, because it deals more damage. You know, you can still use it for CC and stuff, but yeah, this is my build to deal damage with this thing. You can kill up to level cap with this. without much problem. I have this one with, specifically 3 effects, just to make sure that he's also gonna help me prime enemies, and when they die, it's pretty much guaranteed that if my Sentinel attacked them, I'm getting a guaranteed contribute kill to Manifold Bond. That's why I have this build. Yeah, help me with status effects and stuff, deal damage, keep me alive. Also, there's a very important Guardian, of course. And now, yeah, it might just look like we're done. But what we still have to think about is, of course, I'm gonna get into the tips, but it is important while we're still here to take a look on everything. So you, at some point before actually committing to your level cap and not risking getting up to round 45, 40, usually 43 to 45 is where you get the, I'm gonna put 40 to 45 is where you get the clearest confirmation if you're gonna get to level cap or not, because that's when the scaling goes hard. It just advances 1,000 levels pretty fast. And if you get to 40, round 40, and you're struggling to kill, you might just not go past the 40 something. That happened to me a couple times, especially with the Zenith back in the day when I done it. I had to do the level cap total of 3 times. I got 2 times to round 40 to 42, and I just couldn't kill the demos fast enough. So that was a problem. That's some of the indicators, but you gotta test your shit. Okay? You gotta test your shit. I've already tested this. I know I'm getting to level cap. I've landed heavy attacks that dealt over 111 million damage to the Demolishers. That would be 110 million damage on a normal enemy. But because it's a Demolisher, it's this. It's a 90% of damage reduction, so you're dealing 10% of the original damage. Another thing and I done that while using the Mutalist Cernos as a primer, and so I think I was missing about maybe 4 status types, elemental status on the enemy. So that's gonna be much more. I would risk maybe I'm gonna get now the 13 million per tick, something like that, even more maybe. I don't know. Another thing that's worth mentioning, that Demolishers, they're immune to some abilities. They take diminishing return from other abilities. That meaning you use Ensnare on the enemy, he's gonna be standing there until his nullifier bubble pulses. He dispels that, and then when you cast it again, it's gonna have like half of the duration. So it might just break before he pulses the nullifier bubble again. And if you keep recasting, it's gonna happen the same thing. That's it. They have that diminishing returns, and that diminishing return, damage reduction, have the nullifier bubble. Another way to help with containing them and some getting to the stuff that we use, it's cold. Cold damage is gonna slow them, kind of greatly. So having that Arthuss is also gonna help you with the Demolishers, but only for visible Warframes, because when you're invisible, your Sentinels aren't gonna attack. It's kind of how it goes. That's just something to keep in mind. Another thing that we use to help against Demolishers is something very important, which is called Magus Lockdown, which is an operator arcane. You have seen on my videos that before attacking a Demolist, I just dash in front of him and he gets stuck. That is a mine with a tether release from my arcane, Magus Lockdown. Another option of a arcane that you can use is, I think it's Magus. There's one that pulls enemies. I just don't remember which one it is. It just pulls enemies close to you. It is. It's been so much time since I've used that. I can't even remember how it's called. Oh my god. Pull anomaly. Yeah. Pull enemies towards you. This can help you with demos too, if you don't want to use lockdown. But yeah, I think lockdown is kind of the golden standard for disruptions. I use Magus Melt to increase the amp damage because all of these is for the amp, because I might just need to revive myself and these help a lot. 547 is my amp of choice. I've talked about this a little bit more on the amp video. If you want to check that out, it's there. So we covered the loadout, we've covered the operator. Now we gotta go back to the loadout because consumables. Your air support, I don't know if it is like specific to some places or not. I don't remember seeing the call crew scaling on levels. When I'm playing solo, when I'm doing my disruptions, they don't scale. But I have a friend that told me a lot of times that he's seen call scaling. I don't know if he's crazy or it's the mission type that I'm playing, but I don't see them scaling. So it's not worth taking. But for your air support, it might be a good thing to take, or can I, just to eventually get, you know, your IA-10, your IA-10, your rare cash. It's good for that. Yeah, I think that it's good mainly for that. You should have binded, also your atomic cycle, depending on the room. If you're traversing through a very big room, it might be worth to, you know, bullet jump, use your atomic cycle, and just, you know, it's gonna help you traverse through that big room. Oh, there's a faster way you can slam and just atomic cycle. You usually don't have, rooms aren't that big to justify that method. But something very important that I've talked on this channel before are specters, my good dudes. Make some specters. You should take them to your missions. They're just so freaking helpful. It's unbelievable. Especially the Dante Spectre. It might just be the best Spectre in the game. He's gonna buff you with Triumph, so your kills are gonna generate Overguard. And if you have Overguard, you have Overguard gating. And Overguard gating is amazing. You're not gonna die if you have one around. And yeah, they're just really helpful. They're just gonna draw aggro. They're gonna drop keys for you. They're gonna buff you. They're gonna use their abilities, but there is really... I've already done a video on that on channel 2. But there's a very specific list of these specters that are really worth taking. You know, Dante is great. Again, kind of golden standard for Spectre. Volt is great. And then there's others, you know. It's like those two are pretty top tier, you know. Volt is gonna pull the electric shield. And Dunce is gonna buff you. These are really amazing. Others are good too, but yeah, you gotta take a look on that. And make sure you have your on-call crewmate with a good build, a good weapon. I'm gonna show you guys my my weapon build in a second, because I've made this build and it's the same freaking build for ages now. It kills enemies on any level pretty much. It's just a piece of paper. It's gonna shoot on a level cap. It's gonna shoot like 3 to 4 enemies, instantly killing them, and then it's gonna drop dead to the ground. That's how it goes. Also, make sure you have your synthesis scanner equipped all the time. Your plates, your energy plate. Not sure if it would ever need it, but ammo plate, if you're running a very exotic build, might be good too. But I usually just take the energy pad, and it helps me helps a lot. You know, when you have an energy drain, when you have, or sometimes you're just gonna run out of energy. It happens. Yeah. Now your synthesis scanner, when you're on level cap, it's just a free Samaras cap. If you do a level cap, it's just a free Samaras cap. It's just so easy. It's crazy. Yeah. Other than that, you can take other specters. The Ancient Protector might give you a good damage reduction, but that doesn't really happen a lot here because we're going to be invisible all the time. You know, I think the Roller Spectre kind of always turns into Energy Eximus, Energy Leech. It might just be able to help you a bit. I'm not really sure on that. I have to test it more. It's been so much time, so long, you know. Yeah, I think that's might be about it. Heavy weapon, up to you. There isn't really any weapon, any specific weapon that I would recommend. Archwings are good, but I don't know. I don't know. I think it's more of a personal preference. Yeah, I think that's it for the loadout. Now, there are some more things that we have to take a look on. You know, there is rooms in your disruption, and you want to really choose those rooms wisely.